We're at 8:02. I think we'll get started. So good morning, everyone. This is JP. I appreciate you all coming. It's always good to see you, and I look forward to shaking your hand once again when we get out of this crazy times. I wanted to. Dana's a very, very good friend of Amaxra and has been for a long time. Very successful lady, and I wanted to introduce her to you all. If you don't know her, Dana Manciagli has leveraged her fascinating 30-year career in tech sales and marketing to transform into one of the country's top 10 career job experts. We're really, really proud to have her and honored. However, she quit. Most recently, she spent 12 years at Microsoft as a general manager of worldwide sales. However, she quit 7 years ago to launch her own business, helping candidates get jobs and networking better. She is an author, speaker, blogger, columnist, and now online course developer. She built Job Search Masterclass with 12 unique courses. Her work of compassion is help. I need more coffee, apparently, is to help U.S. military veterans and military spouses. I'm going to hand it off to her shortly. What I want to do is remind you all that, when we get to the end, there is a $5 S-Bucks card for you to click on the QR code and get coffee from us, because anybody that's joined us here is a $5 coffee card. And we look forward to buying you coffee when we're all back to normal. Without further ado, I'd like to hand the floor over to our guest this morning, Dana. Go right ahead.
Great. Thank you so much, JP. That was excellent. And you even got that last name in there. So good for you. I'm going to go ahead and get going. And we do welcome questions at any time. We'll take them at the end, but feel free to pop them into the chat as you think of them so they're fresh. And then we'll handle those at the end. I'm going to take over and let's go right to what I'd like to accomplish today, and I hope you accomplish, is learning nuggets of how to network better. And I'm going to focus on networking through LinkedIn, especially since we've gone so virtual. I'll touch on those face-to-face events as well, because they will come back at some shape or form. But really a networking system. Try to encourage you to be more disciplined, to take this more seriously, and avoid some bloopers. So that's, by showing those, I hope you either want to crawl under the table or say, oh, I've done that once before. I can't let that happen again. So let's just start in, and thank you, Amaxra, for hosting these. These are so powerful for all of your audience, your constituents, your employees, and your customers for professional development. So as JP mentioned, I have zigged and zagged through a very exciting career, and now I'm in I'll call it my next chapter, because it's not my second one, it's just the next one. And just a quick set of background of the companies I've worked for. Got my MBA a long time ago, back in '82, and then started in sales, carrying the bag for IBM, and then in product management, kind of flipped over to marketing. And that's for Avery Dennison for 7 years at their headquarters in LA. And then came up to Seattle and joined Sealand, a shipping company. So as you'll see, my industries were varied. I started a little more traditional here, and then the rest was tech and started tech. But I was always on a marketing path and sales, both of those. So I went from sales, marketing, 5 years with a shipping company, containers, those gray boxes. I was the only woman in all these male-dominated organizations too, and I was shipped out to live in Hong Kong for 2 years with kids and family in tote. So I was an expat living in Hong Kong and in Rotterdam, Holland. And then I was recruited to another foreign country, Rochester, New York, for 2 years with the family. It actually was a pretty good place to live, but I was VP of Worldwide Marketing for Kodak's digital photography, launching the first digital camera, and then, of course, seeing that they weren't weren't that into digital, thus the demise of Kodak. So I left after 2 years saying, this ain't happening. Started a .com, helped start one, and was VP of Sales Marketing Biz Dev at a 40-person company. And then we blossomed that over 4 years to an $80 million business, and took it public and then sold it to Kinko's. Although that was, by then, that was the boom, boom bust. And so I was not a functioning millionaire of any kind coming out of here. So entered Microsoft in 2002 and had a great career there for 12 years, and then left to do my current gig, which you'll learn about. So always through my background, my side job has been throughout is open door, mentoring, speaking at the women's conferences, helping people take accountability for their own career, their own networking, and teaching them how with real specifics. And now my family's grown, gone, off the payroll. And this is my youngest son, who's 30 now, Chad. This is my oldest son, 32. He works at Tesla. Shane has for 6 years now in finance. Chad works for me now in my business. And this is my twin sister's son, Milo, who Mike has met. And I lost my twin sister 6 years ago to breast cancer. So Milo's like a kid of mine. My beautiful husband, Mathis, and my beautiful mom, 85 years old and kicking, working full time and loving it. So she's amazing. And now moving on. So what I'm doing now is my most recent chapter is I wrote a book first when I first left Microsoft, cut the crap, get a job, got my system down and my approach as to what I want to teach, and then built this in online courses so I could scale and reach people around the world and as many people as possible with help. And so that's what I've done. I also am not a veteran or military spouse, but I built courses for them, customized for them by building an advisory board. And I recommend that to any of you if you're missing some expertise or is inviting people to be on your mini advisory board. And I built one for veterans who helped me build the class, and for military spouses. All right. So this is where I would love you to open the chat if you want, but or provide numbers. Are you guilty? Have you said any of these? And you can read them. Naturally, if you don't want to admit publicly, you can say a friend of mine has, and we won't laugh at you. But this is what we hear. Is most folks when they hear networking, and some people say it's an American thing. That's false. There's just different styles of doing it. But these are what I call excuses of why we're not dedicating more time and taking this seriously, doing it professionally, doing it well as part of our day job. So many of you do project management. We all do, whatever job you're in. You don't have to have the title, but you do great at juggling different projects at different times, right? And follow through on those. You have a disciplined set of tools that you use for whatever job you have. Why is it when it comes to networking, everyone's sort of winging it? And yeah, when I need something, I'll do it. And I connect with a bunch of people on LinkedIn. That's not networking. So we want to get some clarification of what networking is. So here's what we're going to do today, real fast. So fasten your seatbelts, grab a pen and paper so you can jot down whatever nuggets you get out of this that you're going to change, something you're going to change and do differently. Quick peek at what is networking. Come on back to a definition, show some bloopers, then go to LinkedIn, show some things, more bloopers. End with tricks to help make you better, to really make you stand out and get better quality out of your networking, whatever it is you're networking for. So today is not about job search or networking to get a better job. This is about networking for any purpose. So my first question that I want you to ask yourself is networking even important to you? And for some of you, and I know for developers we've worked with at Microsoft, I'm good. I'm good. And granted, the introvert excuse comes into play. I want to take that one off the table because introverts are great networkers. But to make it important, do you really know what it is? And there are a lot of definitions, so I kind of created mine out of highlighting a few things. Number one, it's a two-way relationship. So that means that at a given point in time, you may need something. So there's a networkee and a networker, right? So there's usually someone who's seeking something from someone else, but you do want to offer, hey, how can I help you in any way? And as you stay in touch with them, is there anything I can do for you? Second one to underscore is long term. So this networking is not in, out, thank you very much, have a nice life, long term, and it's for professional or personal success. So I have battled breast cancer 3 times in my past, and often my networking was how to meet other, whether it's other survivors, but executives who lobby on Capitol Hill for laws to change to help cancer, fight cancer. So it can waver at any point in time throughout your career, throughout your life. But it is for the long term, and you should see some positive gain from that two-way relationship. Otherwise, just don't call it networking. You can just call it something else. By the way, pop quiz. So what is the opposite of networking? And I'm going to see if I can. Nope.
I wanted to check. Question, Dana. I don't know. I don't know if we're meant to be talking now on this one, but the opposite of networking, I don't know. I'd say that it's people who just, try and get something for themselves.
Yeah, it's 5 letters. It's one word. And you're close, Mike, and I hope people are guessing. I don't want to share I don't want to peek at the chat because I'll lose my screen. It's using. Let's be really clear. We can dance around it like you did politely. People, you can call them takers, and they're in it for themselves. It is flat out using. I want to be this blunt because I want you to know it's black or white. Either you're doing it well and you're nurturing that relationship, or you're using. And by the way, for us who are often the networkee, meaning, people are asking us for time and help, we know who's a user and a networker. It is so clear. And I'll have people call me for job search help, and they'll thank me. I say, you know what? There's one thing. And they say, what can I do to repay you? I said, only one of the simplest things. I want you to put in your calendar in 2 weeks from now to send me a 1-line email and just give me an update. How are things going for you? It could be 1 line, it could be 2, or it could be bullet points. I just want to hear from you again. So I'm actually putting on a silver platter what would feel good for me in return. And I would put, if I was present in a big audience here, I'd lay a $100 bill on the counter on the podium. And I'd say, I'm putting this down that 1 out of 100 will do this, even when asked. Because I'll ask a whole room of people. I'll say, connect with me on LinkedIn if you want, and send me a note. Nobody does this. So that's what and so we know, we just know. So don't be Elizabeth. So Brad and Elizabeth worked together for 10 years ago. And they just haven't been in contact, right? We have a ton of those. Until last week, Elizabeth is in a new capacity, and Brad would be a great prospect. So she contacted him on LinkedIn first. Hey, Brad, how are you? Just started a new sales position. I'd like to pick your brain about your technology needs out there. Let's do coffee. What time works for you? So now if we had more time, I would do a shout out to all of you and ask what's wrong with this, because this is a blooper. First of all, I'm going to just point them out. First of all, way too casual. And I don't care if Brad is Elizabeth's cousin. Okay, so this is a business note, and this is a prospecting note, and this should be elevated as if you're asking, the CEO of a company for a meeting. So this is a problem. It's a problem that she's missing something that I'll talk about next. I just started, and I can't stand pick your brain. Please avoid that at all costs. It's not just a generational thing, but it's just please don't use pick your brain or chat. Those two take it down to, hey, this must not be that important for you, so why am I going to make time, right? So everything's elevated. You want a meeting about your technology needs. Big blooper, let's do coffee. Everyone wants to do coffee, of course, not today in pandemic land, but no, I would like to meet with you. This is about having a meeting. Now they may pick a location that happens to serve coffee, but let's get out of this mode of, for an important business meeting, of making it kind of, hey, yeah, let's go schmooze. It's just, I want all of you to maybe take away from this. It's time to be more formal. And then what time works for you? Okay. I think this is kind of a waste. How about next? I would propose 3 times. Like, what about next Monday at 2? Tuesday at 3, or Wednesday or Thursday at 4? Then they can reply. So this is a problem. But let's go look at the situation that we all face. What should Elizabeth do when you've been out of touch for a long time? And there are 2 words that her whole message should start with. I'm going to go back, and this would say, hello, Brad. How are you? And it would be right here. And it's the start of her message. So if JP, you're seeing the chat, you want to shout out the guesses that our folks are typing into the chat, if any?
Sure.
What are they saying the 2 words are? Anyone giving guesses? Giving guesses in the chat?
Not yet. We have no brave participants.
Okay. Be brave,
Oh, there we
folks.
go. Still thinking.
Still thinking. Okay. And Mike, your special guest here, do you want to pick the 2 words? Do you know what they are?
No, I'm scared.
But purpose. Here's what
wait. Sorry, JP, hang on. Wait, Mike, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying I'm too scared to say something, but
okay.
Jim Fredrickson said my purpose, and I actually like my purpose.
Okay.
My purpose of contacting you is straightforward and honest.
Okay, that's a good one. That's not the one I'm thinking of, but that would follow these 2 words. JP, you get 1 shot, and then we'll move forward.
I'm embarrassed.
Okay, it's close. So that's close. I didn't do it on a slide, so I'm just going to tell you what they are. You could write them down. I'm sorry. It's actually 3 words with a I'm sorry. So you don't have to be embarrassed. You have to be I'm sorry. And then the next word is I have not kept in touch with you. Folks, I hear too often, I'm sorry. We have not been in touch. Passive, passive, passive. And it makes it we. You own it. Say, I'm sorry. I have not been in touch with you. And then launch right in. Don't go on with why. I've been busy with the kids and the laundry. No, just go on. And then I love starting with my purpose. In this case, my purpose is but basically you can just dive in here. So be confident diving in, but be sure you cleared the apology and took ownership with I, not that we lost contact. Okay. So now for networking, step 1. All of you should set a goal, even if you're going to an event. What's your goal for that night that you're going to be consistently pursuing? What's your goal for the next month? It could be biz dev. I've got to go out and seek prospects, or I've got to learn something. So be clear with everyone after you've either said I'm sorry or you don't have to, is be clear why you're connecting. Make something up if you don't have anything and you just want to meet them. They won't give you time, by the way, if you just say, I just want to chat or pick your brain, right? So you want to start with, I have a specific thing I'd like your insight about. And create one if you don't have one. Oh, typo. I was doing this last night, trying to customize this to you, and crap happens. Make it easy for them to engage. So tell them in advance. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them why you want 30 minutes. And by the way, 30 minutes is magical to get more appointments than an hour. And you should be able to do a lot of magic with an organized 30 minutes. People do want to help you. So I don't want you to go in sheepishly either. There's a lot of, oh, Dan, I know you're busy and gee and what. And we've wasted 5 minutes at the beginning of the call when just go in, and people, if they took the time or you bump into them, they want to help, but help them help you. And that ball is in your court to be prepared. So communicate it. Hey, I'm here to learn more about your business. I'm not here to sell. I'm not here. I just want to listen. And that's an awesome way to have a first meeting. People are talking way too, networkers are talking way too much, and they need to zip it. I need to find other industry function experts who are kind of doing what I'm doing for other companies. I need to meet people at Nordstrom. I've got a problem I'd like your insights about. I want to learn about this tech trend. I need to know more about AI. Okay, so now you write it out. What's your mission? And then you know who you want to network with. So you can see how it all starts with your goal or your mission, because you could be going to the wrong person for the wrong solution. So identify people who can help you learn, who can point you to the right resources or introduce you to someone who can. And draw this out, though. Don't just go out and do it. Map out your plan for the next month, for example, of networking strategically and surgically. So you're not just doing random acts of networking. Let's talk about some bloopers. Number one, dominating the conversation with your agenda. I just hinted at that. You are there to listen and learn, and especially at an event that's moving rapidly. Your goal at an event is just listen, write down what you hear, what you learn, because the networking will follow it, and one-on-one and separately. Identify the key individuals and then follow up with them the next day virtually, or if you met them online. So please remember, your goal is to be interested, not to be interesting. And then if you are asked something, which you will be, like, oh, what brought you here today? Or tell me why you want to learn this, is say 3 short bullet points. Picture bullet, 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 not long sentences. 3 things and zip it. We tend to ramble, especially if we're nervous, we're meeting someone new. We don't know if I've answered their question right, so I'll just keep talking. I call it the deck of cards syndrome, where you just want to toss out cards and they'll point to one that they want to stop on. Don't do that. So law of threes, practice it at home, practice with your partner, your dog, but you'll catch yourself saying, wow, I do go well beyond 3 bullet points. I'm like in 3 paragraphs here. So start practicing that. It'll help you in everything you do, including sales calls. Okay, these start with don't. Ask them to contact or email you. Full stop. And you need to drive the process. Yes, you can do the business card exchange, but you need to assume your business card is gone and you have theirs. And if you want to follow up with them, you need to do that. I've had at too many events, have you experienced where someone walks up to you and jams a business card in your hand, didn't ask for yours, jams one in your hand, says, call me. Why? So take accountability, and you can even engage and look at in Asia, of course, you handle their card delicately in the corners and say, hey, may I follow up? May I send you an email? Look at them in the eye and propose some times for us to talk again. They'll say yes, and then you move forward. Okay, so all the ball's in your court, even if you do the business card exchange. By the way, I don't think it's in my slides, but please do not just do a LinkedIn connection in front of them, lose eye contact. Oh, hold on, let me connect with you on LinkedIn. And what's your name again? Okay. All you just did was, well, it's all crap. So just don't do that. I'll go into that later. Number 3, not being prepared first and not being concise, and the 2 go hand in hand, which is why I globbed them together here, is if you're not prepared, you're not going to be concise. Okay, so being unprepared is just bad behavior anyway. So back to what is your objective? Now, even for a 30-minute phone or video call, do you have an agenda? Do you have, okay, Mr. Smith, thank you for your time. I'm going to do introductions first. Then I want to share with you 2 or 3 things that triggered this meeting, and then I'd like to ask you 2 questions, and I'll stay within 30 minutes. Wow, all of a sudden they're like, finally, a person who can drive the meeting. instead of walking in and tell me about yourself and I want to pick your brain. And now, also, do you, and not to the person you're networking with, do you have a few slides? People love visuals, and if you're going to do a video call, it's so easy to share just a few bullet points that shows you prepared, or show that agenda, and then you can keep it up there with your face to just show that you're owning this meeting. So there you go, is a tip along with a don't. Okay, don't do nothing, double negative, after a network meeting. So we talked about my favorite word or least favorite word, using, versus showing gratitude and following up. So the first question in order to do this is, are you organized? Do you have a system where you log the people you met with? And I don't mean LinkedIn, because it doesn't have any of this functionality. So you need to use your calendar or OneNote or Excel, anything, definitely your calendar, because you'll be popping your follow-up into your calendar. So you wake up in a week or 2 weeks or 3 months, whatever you peg for this person, and say follow up with John Smith. So take written notes and everywhere. And I mean old school pen and paper. Even if you're having a quick call, you're in Starbucks, ladies, I have one in my purse, just those little tiny pads you get at Rite Aid. But I'm always writing and then putting it into my system, including my calendar. If you go to a big event and you collect 30 business cards, naturally you can write on the back of the cards, not in front of the person though, because that is offensive to the Asian culture. So, because that's a cherished document there. So I take all these notes, save all the business cards, and then I put them all in a baggie and with a Sharpie write the date and the name of the event. So, and then I just have a stack of those, because later I find I need to rifle through those and say, I know I met her at this event, let me go find that. And then of course I've connected it in LinkedIn. So I've seen these at many events. I know you go to many. This is a big one, is just not being there. Why go if you're going to sit on your laptop on the side? So not being interested, not being present. I just witnessed this a lot. And I think all of you who are going to an event should leave all your technology at home, check your coat. Don't be bogged down with stuff and all cluttered. Here, I'll just connect with you now on LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, nothing's going to happen. It's just so unbelievable that that's a thing, because it's a big database. You can't even write a note in LinkedIn that you met them at the Women in Tech conference on June 3rd. I mean, it doesn't even have the fields that are required. And I'm a LinkedIn raving fan. This ain't the way. Same with, there are techniques to kind of connect with everyone in the room on LinkedIn, on your phone. Like, really? Okay. So also, I think I want everyone to have business cards, whether you're employed or not. You can make them at home with Avery business cards on your printer. But I'm shocked at how many. I'm on the board of Women in Technology, and I'm asked for my business card. Hey, I want to follow up. Can I have your business card? And then I say, yeah, can I have yours? Oh, I forgot them. My company doesn't provide them. I could list 20 excuses. You might as well say my dog ate them. So make some at home. It just needs your phone number, your email, your LinkedIn URL, and your name. Come on. So it is still a thing to have business cards. Don't say, oh, we're in the 2020s, because you may also be talking to someone who is a more traditional boomer or someone who cherishes that. You'll also stand out because no one else has a business card anymore. So be the person with all your tools, and whether you like them or not, it's not about you. Big bloopers. Have you said these? And I'm going to actually give you a link to an article that I wrote in Forbes that has 10 of these, and it goes into much more detail. But just yesterday, I got in LinkedIn a gentleman from Australia who said, oh, I have a business that I'm bringing to the US. I'd really like to talk to you. Let's chat. This is what he said in LinkedIn. And I wrote back to him, if you want to have a meeting, I'm not even going to repeat that word. If you want to have a meeting, make that happen. Cheers. It's the plop in the middle of the room. You find yourself saying it. Let's do lunch. Yeah, let's do this. Drop it. Of course, big bloopers. There's no excuse to arrive late or leave early from an event, from anything. Doing email, checking Facebook, unless you're the president of a major corporation that just faced a crisis, you're not that important that you need to do other stuff while you're networking. Okay, nothing in order to cause you to be late. You're just, or none of us are just that big. I've mentioned these, and then gratitude. It's a lost art out there, and it continues to be reinforced every day for me how bad it is. So be the one that thanks over and over and over again. So let's say in this one, let's say Bob introduces you to Lisa, who gives you some help, and Lisa turns you on to Linda, who will give you even more help. I hope that string is written down in your OneNote or somewhere, because every time you talk to Lisa, Linda, you go back and thank Bob. So you want to know like who sent me there, and you want to keep thanking. You can never thank enough. Bob, I just had another meeting with Lisa, and I just want to again thank you for giving me that connection. And so you do want to go all the way back to the source. Let's jump into LinkedIn, because it is where we all play in networking, and we should. And it's a very professional location to make connections. To me, it's not a networking place. It is a great database and connecting tool and a learning tool. For those who are in job seeking mode, it's also very good for jobs and all that. But here's what I want you to do is always draw a triangle as to what is your goal, put that in the middle, and who do you want to meet with? And maybe there's more than one person, or maybe there's a person who introduces you to another. So picture 2 points of your triangle being people, live human bodies that fog a mirror. Okay, but there's another one, and that's on LinkedIn. And it's not a person, it's a robot, it's an algorithm, but it's talking to a broad group of people. So I'm going to talk about your profile because I think you can help your company. I think you can help your business. There are many successful salespeople and biz dev and marketing people who get a lot of their work done on LinkedIn or via LinkedIn. And that's knowing the algorithm. And so first starting with a profile. So having a good profile, and I'm not talking about job seekers here, business people in general. Job seekers, these are just required. But why? Because your clients are checking you out. Amaxra, all of your employees, your clients are checking out Amaxra when they're even checking on JP's profile. And they should read a lot about Amaxra and what you guys do. And then, of course, ping over to the great Amaxra LinkedIn website. So it's a business location and employee base should all be excellent, telling a story on why they should work there or do business with them. So when you prospect, they're watching you and your credibility, not just the companies. Please join groups, contribute your knowledge in groups. If someone just has a problem, hey, I can help you out with that, do this, do that, provide your wisdom. And learn from other posts, get involved in the conversation, saying, wow, even gratitude, this was really helpful for me. Thank you so much. If you need help on that project, please let me know. Or you may go link with that person. You have a lot of seconds and thirds who are commenting in those groups or in those chats, those posts, then engage with them and connect with them. So pop quiz just for you to take with you. You'll get copies of this deck as well. You can check it off. Do you have a professional photo? This is not Facebook. So no cats, sorry, Mike, no kitties, no cars and babies and truncated date pictures with a shoulder lopped off. Anyone can take it with a good camera, phone camera, and just a nice smiling face. How you would look at work, how you would look showing up for a sales call. Do you have a great headline? I'll show you that. What I mean is your full contact info in there. And I find so many have their Gmail, but you really want your Amaxra email. Really look back at your contact information. Some are even out of date. They're with an old job. But you can put your contact information in your About section in LinkedIn, and that lets people contact you without having to be a first connection. So if you want to be open and able to be called and want to be called, then be sure your contact information is easy to be found. Okay, and for everybody, job seekers or not, I recommend you get 2 references, at least 2. You may already have them, they may be old, but just ask someone through LinkedIn for references. Here's what I mean by LinkedIn headline, because I think a lot of people just don't know that this headline, and this is one of the veterans I've helped, it defaults to your current title or the last title of your last job, which isn't very insightful, right? If you're a program manager, great, that's all that's going to say. But there are 140 characters here for you to share your expertise, what you're good at, that you're in sales, passionate about AI, whatever describes you as your brand and as a business person. So we still don't want to hear, love to jump out of airplanes. So this should still be professional. Save that stuff for Facebook. So this is what I meant by the contact information that's only visible by firsts. So you can put whatever you want to put in your About section. Okay. So I'd love you to consider, one of your nuggets might be take a proactive approach. And that means online networking, connecting with total strangers. It is the most underutilized form. And then there's an and, how do you do that? But so many people want to wait until they meet someone to connect. So let's take this coffee chat. Maybe you saw, I don't know, I think you saw Dana Monsiagli is going to come here and chat about this, coffee chat. You could connect with me then and say, looking forward to attending your presentation. You could read about someone in an article, connect with them. I read your article about this. So now I'm leading to how you connect. So I want you all to raise the bar on connecting with total strangers, but don't just hit the connect button. So let's talk about if you're looking for someone, you want to meet the head of operations at Amazon, one of the million they have, right? Then I want you all to make your best friend this bar. So once you type into a search, this is the advanced search bar. And again, you've done your planning. Who are you looking for? They could be a first or second of yours. You could type the CIO in the title, sales ops person, senior executives, aim high. Want you all to be much more bold. Pop quiz. And please just in the chat type a 1, a 2, or a 3, and I'll let JP kind of summarize them. Which one of the following is the best way to connect? And let's assume it's a total stranger or your first cousin. I don't care who. You're going to do what we talk about now all the time, 100%. So is it via your phone? Is it via people you may know and that connect button? And is it, hey, I'm looking for Sally Smith and I found her, so I'm going to hit that one. Can JP, is anyone chiming in or I'll keep going?
Not yet. I picked 3.
Okay, Mike? Or
I'm leaning towards 3 myself, but I kind of like 2 as well.
Good. So
Jordan says 3.
The answer is none of them. 0. And I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to go, I want those 3 to be hands off, and I'll tell you why. So first I'm going to start with the people you may know section. I'm going to make this a little bigger, help all of you out. So LinkedIn has booby traps. You are going to step in all those 3, and I want you to avoid them now. Number 1, this just sends a note that says, please add me to your network. So if you want to connect with Charles, your rule is only connect when the full profile is open. This is your only permission from Dana to hit. Nothing else, including not on your phone, because when you hit only this connect button, and this is shame on LinkedIn, is that you can customize the invitation, and I want you to always write a note. You can still see his name. I want you to always start with Charles. I don't know this guy, by the way, so he's going to see that I peeked at his profile. So Charles, let's see. Thank you for your service. I see he's an Army veteran. Thank you for your service, and great. And I found you on LinkedIn. It's okay to say LinkedIn as a successful whatever he was, because you read his full profile. It went up and down. Thank you for connecting here. You want to escalate the opportunity to have him connect back, and you want to be professional. Thank you for connecting here. I always do a space. I do my full name. Oh yeah, you're saying I know, they can see your name. And I even do my title if there's room. Now this is character limited, so sometimes I have I max this out sometimes with, I'd like to talk to you about this, that, but don't ask them any questions here, because you want him to just connect back, and then whatever you said disappears. It goes into the hinterland. So I want you to always do this. And that's the only connect button. It's very hard to find on your phone, and you're going to say, oops, and it'll just say you just sent a connection request, because you can't find this. It's under 3 dots. It's under 5 things. So I want you all to use your PC, your computer, for all connections. So you scroll up and down, and you know what? You may find that they went to your college, or they play tennis for some reason, they follow something, or so you also will find that you have people in common. And you can look into your mutual connections and say, oh, we both know Chuck Hodges. But I mean, so you can make something up, but I don't care if they're total strangers. So that's one. And this is, so you notice if I'm looking for Sally Smith, I'll just play that one out. Poor Sally, whoever she is, that there's a lot of Sally Smiths. This one won't let you. You can't right click on it. So my wish to LinkedIn, if any of you work for LinkedIn, is make every connect button pop up that opportunity to send an invitation. But right now, these are hands off. If that's your Sally, then you open up the full profile. And there's lots of traps. Notice under my network that scrolling. Yeah, all the people you may know. It's so easy to go connect. And same if you in a meeting room, someone's taught you there is a feature in LinkedIn that it detects who else is on LinkedIn, and you could connect with everyone in the room. I can't stand that feature. I'm just bristles. And the reason why is these are my 2 invitations. I haven't accepted. I usually come here every day, but I left them here for a reason. None of these use a private note. And so I look at, okay, and I don't know Bonnie, but okay, he's with Cloud Investments. I just go with my gut. I'm not going to not accept them because they didn't write a note. I want every one of you to be a standout. Now, this guy's picture isn't so hot and everything, and he's a plant manager, but I'm an open networker. You don't have to, but to me, there's no downside in inviting someone into my network. They can't break it. They can't do anything. If I see provocative pictures, if there's no picture, I don't accept it, by the way. So all of you need to have a picture to be a person, naturally. So I'm just scrolling through this to see if there's anything that sometimes I can find a provocative picture or something that I just say, no. Okay, so let's come back out. So now I hope you got it. Open the full profile and always add a note, even if they're your cousin. Just get in the habit like breathing. Here's a good one, just an example. Hi, Dana. I came across your profile. I'd be honored if I could add you to my network. Much success to you. Best. And I would just add his last name just to be uber professional. That's all. He's connected with a lot of people, so of course I accepted that. LinkedIn bloopers. Okay, great, Rob. Cool car. And not good. Looking for a new challenge. Okay, so this isn't Facebook, and this is pretty desperate. Even if you're looking for a new challenge, put that in the about section, not as that 140 character headline. He could promote himself as whatever kind of job he's looking for. Oh, so here's an example. This is from yesterday. Here's still Charles. Watched your video on University of California's site. Thought we should be in touch. That's awesome. That's how you'll stand out. There's just something there. Okay, another one. Please, when someone connects with you, please don't make LinkedIn your platform to sell, to promote something. This truly was last week, and I just dug it out. LinkedIn suggests, and I don't know, he's pitching me on I read it because I was astonished. It's a pyramid scheme of selling cleaning stuff, I think. Okay, and here's what I replied. I'm just showing you, this is nuts. This is selling and LinkedIn. So I regretted immediately connecting with Alvin. Like, he connected with me, I connected back, and this is what I got immediately, is a canned, hey, no thank you. You think that was clear? I mean, I'm trying to be polite, but not interested. He writes back, thanks for your response. One of the reasons is that you do with veterans, so he's obviously giving it some thought, but dude, and I said, no, thank you, and he finally stopped. Now, I was being polite here, and some people, and I sometimes have cut them off my LinkedIn profile. Like, he doesn't get it, I don't want him in my network, I don't want him bothering my folks, so, but I kept Alvin in there because he just doesn't know better.
Dana, I have a question regarding that, because I'm actually quite selective in my LinkedIn, and I've actually cut people out on several occasions. Anybody who committed the sin of sending a book, it's not even an essay, it's a book, like that email was, I would just immediately disconnect them, because I'm trying to protect my friends from having them do the same thing.
That's what I just said. Yep. That's what I just said. Is normally I would, I don't know, for some reason, my heart or something, he looks like Santa Claus. Don't ask me why. Normally I would cut them out because I don't want them doing this to my connections.
Right.
Yep. Grammar. These LinkedIn they're watching you, especially if you're prospecting or connecting. And I think you should take your time on LinkedIn. Now, my favorite tool of all, I just signed on to the premium. There's a free version of Grammarly. It overlays on Word, in your emails, and in LinkedIn. It corrects typos and commas in the wrong place and quotes, and which it corrected PowerPoint. It doesn't do that, or I would have caught that typo earlier in this presentation. So Grammarly, I would love all of you to look at it, consider the investment in the paid level, and it corrects what's in it, not in your profile, but when you're writing a LinkedIn response to someone or that invitation. Also, please avoid hias, THX, emojis, always sign your first name. Come on, folks, raise the bar, err on the formal side. No one's ever criticized you dressed too nicely, you were too formal, you called me Mr. Smith, it should have called me John, but the inverse is out of control. And so I hope, let's see, does this one, Manger. So even just scrub everything, okay? And business development Manger. LinkedIn rules, okay. No phone. I just would love you to just put it down for all networking. Frankly, I'm so old school. I mean, I use technology a ton, but I just don't even like responding to email in this thing. I just would rather wait, be patient. In email, I can, if it's an important email, I write it in Word and then copy paste that into email so I can check all the grammar, the words, the spelling, see if it lays out nicely. I can put bars and colors and then I'll pop it into email. But The inverse, phone. Typing with your thumbs, and sorry for my typos, it's Verizon. Come on. Also in LinkedIn, watch for their acceptance. And then the minute they accept, I want you to get out of LinkedIn. And so you see your acceptances in notifications. Let's see, they moved it around. Let's see, yes. So first of all, check your messaging too. It's interesting when people either react to something or they write something to you. Okay, but also in messaging is where you'll see when people connected back. Let me see if I can find one from recently. I don't think I've connected out too much lately, so I may see it. But I want you to see, oh, they connected back, because then when, I'm just going to open up someone who I work with, when they connect back, let's see, here's an in-mail. Okay, then you're a first of theirs. So it's good to know when you're a first, because that's, and I got so many firsts. Send me a message and say, what's your email? Folks, the contact information that they made public is right here. And this happens to be your Outlook one. It's not her company one. You can use that. So know that as a first, you have contact information. I encourage all of you, if you want, if you're open to putting it in your About section at the bottom, feel free to contact me at. That way people can get it if they are not a first. That's what I meant. By the way, for networking, I'm going to show you another favorite tool of mine. When you're reading about someone, please go to people also viewed. The algorithm is saying, oh, you might be interested in these people too. And I have found awesome people. Some of them are already my firsts, but oh, there's someone I might want to meet. So I can, after I finish my business here with Monica, I can go over and say, oh, Gina, what does she do? So especially if you're prospecting in companies, this is awesome because it'll show more senior executives than just the one that you had to open. So no phone, watch for an acceptance. Everyone, my big thing, don't keep a conversation going in LinkedIn. Pop out and start an email, because if you do attachments or you do a nice email, they can then forward it to coworkers. If you're job searching, they can forward it to the right recruiter, and they don't check LinkedIn that often. So get out of Dodge. And I have sometimes asked people, please, they'll message me. I'll say, hey, here's my email address. Please bump over to email. And they'll write back and say, okay, sure. But here's what I want to talk about. Like, dude, I don't use this format. It's just, and it's sloppy, right? And they're not signing their last name or their full signature bar. I don't know what their phone number is. So please get out of LinkedIn and take everything, including job search, everything out into email. They look better, so many reasons. Unless the person asks you, like if they want to be in LinkedIn, then you can stay there. But I want you to try to drive it out there. So what will you do? Will you get active in relevant groups, block 30 minutes 3 times a week for LinkedIn, or 15 minutes every day to be sure you go there? Will you share? Will you write posts or write some articles? Get active in that, for even from your company. You can have it blessed by someone in PR if needed, but be sure you're sharing the what your company does and offer help to others. You are going to get this PowerPoint, and I really invite you to read the 3 articles here, only because it's chunked into 3 parts. There's so much, but it's a 3-part series I wrote for Forbes on the top types of networking bloopers to avoid. So it goes into all of these, including hygiene and being a taker, a user, right? And more that we haven't covered in this Power Hour. So I hope that got you a dose of, hey, I've got opportunity to be better, to shine, and to stand out among some what I used to call lazy LinkedIn users, but it's mostly LinkedIn's fault. So you're no longer lazy, but simply you can do way better and get much more results out of your LinkedIn and your networking in general. So we are here unplugged, and I would love to open it up for questions.